Yeah.
Okay.
G'day
Pigeon
and welcome
noises.
to
Pigeons.
every fucking time. Every time. G'day and welcome back to Pub for Heretics. This is our first actual video that we're doing together as a team. But we're going to be doing FULGRIM today. But with my co-host, I'm Blake. This is.
I am Corbin.
And I am James.
And today we're going to be looking at the new FULGRIM model and debating and talking about the community feedback a little bit. What do you guys think?
Bit of a discussion.
Bit of a discussion, yeah. So,
Fulgrim seems to be a very hot topic at the moment. All
bit,
my
because-
memes have been about Fulgrim, so
the community's basically going, the Horus Heresy model is basically eBay, what you get FULGRIM from eBay. The new one's FULGRIM from Wish.
yeah.
It's taken a lot of hate. I mean, it was released nearly 2 weeks ago now when we were recording this on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
So it's given me some time to think about it. I've looked at it in detail quite a few times, and I have some opinions.
That was a weird way of phrasing it, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, I have some opinions. Not all bad, but yes.
Overall impression, James. As somebody who doesn't actually know that much about FULGRIM, but being the Primarch of the Emperor's Children, what do you think of it?
I mean, he looks more durable than the Horus Heresy one. Like, it looks,
Yeah, being made out of resin.
I feel like it would be easier to actually use him. But
Also, the wings are more scaled. You're not going to catch them on as many things.
Yeah.
I thought that too. I was like, it's going to look
And
like easier to put together.
He's missing the spear as well, because in the Horus Heresy one, he's got a spear.
Yes. And that spear was apparently a bitch.
That I can see.
Yeah.
Because that one big boy up there, that's made out of resin, the same stuff. I had to glue it together 3 times.
yeah, I can. As someone who does do 3D printing and resin, like resin is a bitch to try and it's just so. Like, even if you buy, super durable resin, it's still resin at the end of the day. It can still be very fragile. So, I'm glad that it's, an injected molded character. So, I mean,
To be fair, that's the biggest plus that this model has over the Horus Heresy one, is that you'll be able to carry it and take it to places.
And it's great. We now have all 4 of the big Chaos Gods represented now. Happy about that. I'm glad
All
they
the
did
champions,
that. Can't wait to see the rules.
I'm interested to see what their army rule will be and what weapons he gets. But anyways, first, what was your overall first reaction?
Well, I like it. I'm I haven't seen, how big it is to scale. What is the size?
I'm assuming it won't be any bigger than Mortarion or Angron.
I was assuming that as well. So, that will also help with the portability of actually being able to take it places and, but I like it. I think it's cool. I think some of the faces that are included are,
Awful.
Yeah. They're a bit. I can definitely see a few of them are going in the bin.
I'm personally glad that they've started going down the route with the Lion, because the Lion was the first one that got the multiple head options, and I'm glad that they're continuing that. Because I find that, because I just like that, because it means that it's just not, it's more diversified now.
Yeah.
So that way, you can be more like, this is my Fulgrim, this is my Lion, for
And
example.
we can meme on it easier.
Yeah, and it's a bit, a meme on it with all the memes about it, yeah.
But the mask face should never have existed.
I don't get it.
No.
That
Should
doesn't,
never have existed. Fulgrim doesn't even wear a helmet most of the time through the heresy. Why the fuck is he starting to wear a helmet now? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
And I the mask part, I don't have that big of a problem with. It's more just the facial expressions that he has. There's really only one option, the one where he looks like
Where he's
that
smiling
meme
and
kid,
laughing at the same time, yeah.
It's so weird. It's such a weird expression. That's definitely gonna end up on one of my Abaddon's claws.
I think it's going to be one of the most memed things of all time.
I'm gonna rip that head off and kit bash it into something else.
But overall, what was your first impression of it when it first came out on Christmas?
It's very mixed. It's very mixed. I'm gonna have to go through individually all the different parts and break it down.
We'll get to that.
Afterwards, but I don't love it.
You don't love it?
I don't love it.
Okay, that's fair. Everybody knows my reaction because it's on the channel, and I literally was sitting down for Christmas dinner and then saw the ding pop up, and I'm like,
so we didn't even have to hear your opinion.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. No. Why
I literally left here and was driving home, and then as soon as I got home, I saw it and I was like, why did I have to see it now? Why couldn't I have seen it when we were together? Like
When we were together, we would have reacted together.
Like I literally
But
just left here.
overall, I love the model because I think it perfectly encapsulates Fulgrim in the year 40k, aside from the faces. There's only one face that actually does suit it, and that's the one where he's like smiling, laughing, or snarl. I can't remember. I'll have a look at them in a second. But I think that the overall model itself is quite good, but I'm keen to see how people will kitbash it.
I reckon there's going to be some really good
add their own
kitbashes.
little bits onto it, or for example, like what I'm going to do is I'm going to put like little semi cuts everywhere because, like, Slanesh.
Yeah.
But anyways,
All right.
point by point. What do you think?
Start with the horns.
Okay, yeah. What about them? Don't like horns?
No, I like horns. I like the horns on the Heresy model. I don't like those horns.
Yeah.
For starters, they look a little bit Thousand Sun.
I was going to say that. They look
Fair.
like that,
Yeah.
like the helmet thing. Like,
Yeah.
they definitely do.
And I get it that they were going a bit more over the top and extravagant. It combined with his hair.
Trying to make it look like a crown.
Yeah, but it combined with his hair
Yeah, it
looks
does kind of
completely out of proportion with the rest of the
Yeah.
body.
I would have preferred the hair to come down the side, like just like normal sitting normally, as opposed to like flaring up.
The problem with doing that part is you would have then covered up so much of the armor.
Yeah.
Like, so I can see why they didn't do the hair down. Like, they wanted to make it look like he's like charging. Like,
But to be fair, I would have loved the option.
But the rest
option
of
would have
the
been
model doesn't look like he's charging. The snake body's coiled.
It looks like he's
great.
rearing.
Yeah.
And the cape should have disappeared. Should not be part of the model. I don't like the cape. I think the cape takes away from it. It also makes it look like he's directionally moving sideways
doesn't
and
it?
not straight
Not
forwards.
straight, yeah.
Which is like a design issue that I have with it. So it's like, is he moving forwards? Is he falling? Is he moving sideways? Or is he sitting still on the tail like it looks like he is?
From an artistic point of view, I see what you mean, because like it does a thing called dynamic direction, where
Exactly.
like you're not sure where the characters. Like if you have the hair facing this way, but the body's running this way, like that doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It looks janky. The next point. The big gaping hole, which I've been thinking of as a critical hitbox.
Are you thinking about Slanesh's gaping hole or what?
It's a critical hitbox. If
I
this
don't
was
know
a
what-
video game,
I
you'd
don't
be...
know what you're talking about. What big gaping hole?
See this
He
bit where the
literally
skin
has
is
a hole in
stretched
his
back.
body where he's stretched all the skin out.
So
Yeah.
he's stretched the skin out, and it's his gaping open flesh, and he's got a Marcus
Oh.
Slanesh in there.
Yeah, it looks like a jeweled mark or something like that. Yeah.
But it's right in the center, and it looks like a critical hitbox, like if you were playing a video
now
game.
I see it. I just thought that was like part of his like belt or something.
No,
Like,
no,
I
he
didn't-
to be
pinned
fair,
the skin
here's,
back.
here's the thing. I would have been okay with that if it was if it was over the whole body. But it just seems weird and out of place that it's only in
that
one
does
point.
seem weird. Now that I'm like, because I didn't know that was like the skin being peeled back.
Yeah.
Like that totally looks like.
You know about Slanesh and everything
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
You're going
I
into
know a
stuff.
little bit.
So yeah, but there was a comment where somebody had put into a Warhammer chat where they're just like, "This is just a bit weird," and I'm like, "Welcome to Slanesh, mate.
Yeah.
That's par for the course. I'm actually surprised it's not more."
Yeah, but I like that it's thematic. One bolt around into that, though,
Yeah.
and he's dead. Which
I
leads...
wouldn't say dead, but like crippled probably.
Yeah, I mean,
does
he
seem
can't
like-
die, so whatever. I mean, but like, I know what they were going for. It's very Slanesh. It works. But it kind of just looks like his Slanussy.
Yeah.
Based on where it is, yeah. I see that.
And like...
And that's his plug, the little.
Yeah,
Don't
got a
go
plug.
down that
He
route. Don't go
absolutely
down that
does
route.
look like a plug.
Yeah.
We're
it
trying to
does.
get monetized here. Hi there, YouTube.
Which leads me to my next point. Sorry to be directing this.
No,
at a
no,
minute.
no,
Yeah,
that's fine,
okay.
that's fine.
Next point. I don't love the whip.
I
Where's-
don't have a good picture of the whip.
Oh, is this the whip?
That's the
All
whip.
I've got is the front.
He's got it
yeah.
half
I
curled
know.
around.
Yeah.
And the whip, going back to directional, looks like it's being swung backwards.
Yeah.
If he lets go of that, or is he trying to whip himself? Because
be-
that's also very Slanesh.
To be fair, that is what the rest of his arms are doing. The problem
Yeah.
is that I wouldn't say that's the whip's fault. I would say that's the rest of the body's fault because like you're not sure what he's doing, but the arms are meant to be like rearing back. Like
I get that,
Yeah.
but where's that whip head going?
Yeah,
exactly.
Straight
'Cause
to
if
his
he's-
fucking back.
If he's like pulling his arms back,
Yeah.
that should be facing backwards.
Yes.
Why is it? If it's a whip, like
Or it's swinging around to hit him. He's spanking his own backside with it.
yeah,
which would be thematic.
It looks
Yeah, it's thematic, but it's dumb.
The thing that I liked about it, and I feel like people could like kit bash it, is like I don't know the lore behind the whip and all that stuff, but
I don't know.
There's no lore behind the
but
whip.
it does seem like it looks like the spine of like a Necron or something. Like, could you imagine if like in the handle piece there was like a head of like a Necron?
I'll be honest,
and
that
it like
wouldn't be too far off. Probably.
like
I
that'd be
wouldn't
so
surprised.
cool. Like if you're using
Yeah.
Like if it was a spine of something.
if he was using the spine of like a Necron, like, and that's what he was like. Like
Based on what I can see, it looks like it has the same end to his tail, the same claw.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it's like alive, which
Yeah.
I'm guessing will come into play when it comes to the tabletop.
But like just the it looks like the ridge like of a Necron, like it looks like those like ridges on the back of a Necron. So that's what made me think that this is like he's like destroyed some like big Necron and like pulled their
Yeah,
their
I think
tail.
that's the paint job. You could make that more bone colored.
yeah. I'm just
That's
saying like
that's
that
why
would
I'm
be
not dishing the paint job as much because I
Everyone's gonna paint it
barely remember
differently.
what Mortarian's paint job is, like
Yeah.
the official one.
Yeah.
All I know is what yours is and what I see of other people's.
Yeah.
So and how it's going to be different to the way I paint it.
Yeah.
I
Next
have one thing to say.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
with
go
the
for it.
paint,
Continue on, Corbin. Yeah.
I hate the paint flesh, like that purpley sort of.
Yeah.
Only because I have Vashdor, and I think I painted that thing 4 times because every time I tried to do that purpley skin white color,
Yeah.
it
That
either
hue from
went
white to
it
purple,
either
yeah.
went neon purple
Yeah.
or it went white.
Yeah.
Like it is just so painful to try and paint that. Like
Well, I think a pale white color would actually suit him better.
yeah, yeah.
Because
I-
in all of his things, like I think they've just gone with that tinge to try to fit the snake
man,
body.
it's just so hard to paint that. Like that's why it's to me like you paint it the way that you want to paint it, but like just like trying to recreate that like
I'm a little bit more annoyed at you now because you pointed out the hair. I can't turn my iPad around, but you come see what I'm pointing out. Like, look at the side on.
No, yeah,
It-
I've looked at the side on and it
He
absolutely.
looks like a xenomorph a little bit with the head.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
All right, next point. The snake body.
I actually don't mind the snake body too much.
Well, here's my problem with it. It's like wrinkly skin. In the 30K, the Horus Heresy model, it is like plated, and it looks like he's a snake ready for battle. This looks like he's more like underwater snake, like serpentine.
I
They've
thought it
gone
was
much
like-
more crustacean.
I thought it was underwater.
He's
Yeah.
like he looks like an eel more
Yeah.
than a snake.
So, okay, I do want to ask, because I again don't know too much about it, but is this model meant to be based off, like, what he would have been like around 30K, or is this
No,
more
this
of
is
like...
40K.
See-
So this is more of a modern sort of what he would be now.
No, because these technically are official artworks, so the 30K Horus Heresy and the 40K technically canon now. The only reason I can assume that is because at that 30K point, Fulgrim is still like keen for battle, whereas
That's what
in
I'm
this
trying-
one he's gone full Slanesh addict.
Maybe
and
he's
he
like...
doesn't want armor anymore because
Yeah,
he's
that's
okay
what I was
with
thinking.
feeling the pain.
Maybe
and maybe
he's-
that might become a tabletop where he's like, the more, like if he's that low on wounds, he does more damage or something like that.
Maybe.
Feel no
maybe.
pain.
It's more so like it's almost fish fins along the back.
It is,
It's
yeah.
much more like aqua than
That
it.
literally looks
And
like a crab claw.
Yeah, and a
Like,
crab claw. So he's gone from
That
like
is
snake
actually
body-
correct though. When you look at Slanesh demonettes, they will have claw hands.
Yeah, which is it fits, but he's described as like a snake-like tail, not like an eel-like tail.
Yeah.
And for me, that just with like the side fins and the tail fins, I'm like, it doesn't
Are you?
scream snake to me.
He looks more nautical than he does
Yes.
snake.
Yes.
Nautical is...
Yeah. And like the skinny, like the skin as opposed to
Scales.
the scales.
Yeah.
I think it looks
I see what
weak.
you're saying. I see what you're saying. I would have preferred those barbs to be less crustacean-y and be more plate armor,
Yeah.
personally, because I think that would make more sense.
Like the
but,
purple bits instead of the other bits around it. If you
Yeah.
just kept the small spine running along,
yeah.
that would look even more dragon-like
Yeah.
than like fish-like.
The thing is as well, that paint, like it looks like a crab claw.
Yeah.
Like you could almost paint like the plate bits as like a metal and
Yeah.
then have this bit as like the claw. Like this will be like
You could, yeah.
silver, but I mean it's also like this is what GW have brought out as like this is our representation of Slanesh. So the way that they've painted it in this way is what they're thinking, even though people can do their own
But to be fair, it's
thing.
also like Magnus. He can change colors at will.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But
like,
also, like
people can
same
do
thing with
their
these
own
guys, yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But this is what GW is saying that Slanesh looks like in their
Canon-wise, yeah.
eyes.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, you could paint him, you know, RGB for all you want, like, but this is what GW says he looks like. So if they're going with the colors and everything that is on this model,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it looks like
I'm
looks
gonna,
very
I'm
nautical.
going to bring out a hot topic, like a
Hot take.
hot take. That's what I was trying to say. Not hot topic. We don't shop there.
None
Are
of
they
us
even
are that
open
edgy.
anymore? I thought
Have
they
a-
were closed down in the 90s.
Have a look at the model.
Yeah.
Lose the wings. I think
Yeah.
he'll look better without the wings.
I'm thinking I was gonna say this when wings got brought up. Like, I can see where people
If you see
are
like
going to.
a huge detriment to the Horus Heresy model is that the model is this big, but the wings are this
wings are
big.
like-
They
yeah.
go big like that, and I'm just like, why?
Yeah, it's
No,
more
see,
wing than
I
model.
disagree. I think his wings are too small. I think if you held him next to Morty, Morty's wings are big and like really well done.
Yeah.
His, look, like Pinner.
When
His
it come-
wings are like
Bat
almost the same length as his fucking horns.
That is true.
I would say with the wings, either go big or nothing at all, because I'd rather
Exactly.
it be big or I'd rather have no wings.
See,
yeah.
I am the other way.
When I assemble it, I'm going to see how it looks like without wings, just to see if it actually looks better.
Yeah.
I would say if I could find some ones that like look like they're more like in,
Yeah.
like so, not so
More like a bat coming
not-
into himself.
Yeah, yeah. I reckon that would look more cool, like him, like
Yeah.
almost like using it as like an armor, like protection, like to then go off and start like
Again,
fighting.
this would be cool to see how people kit bash it. So
Oh, I think the
Sensitive.
kip ashes are going to be insane.
Alright,
now,
does anyone else have any more negatives? You got more negatives?
aside from what's been brought up, not really.
No.
Like aside from that, I am actually quite happy with it.
Because I have some positives.
Yeah.
Actually,
don't
I'll bring
believe
up
you.
one negative.
What other negative?
I do like the spear in the other one.
I liked the spear.
I like the spear, but I understand why they didn't go with it this time because
But
it
why
would still
didn't they
be
just have
fragile.
it as an option? They should have had it as an option.
Should have.
Like you
well,
don't have to. Like
No,
you
what
don't
I
have
think
to.
they should have done, and to keep it lore accurate, is that whip should actually be the dagger, the poison dagger that he stabs Gilliman with,
Oh right.
which actually ended Gilliman.
Was it the anathane? The same thing.
It was an anathane, yes.
Yeah. But was it the one that Horus gave him?
I think it is meant to be the one
Is it
that
the same
Horus
one?
gave him,
Yeah.
which was the God Killer. And why isn't it here?
Yeah.
That's a sick fucking like dagger. Like absolutely should be on it.
Yeah.
But yes, anyway.
That was my only other negative. Is like they should have at least had the option for the spear. Like
Yeah.
I
So it
just
looks
think
like
the
he's
spear
got
looks
two
cool.
blades and a whip.
Yeah, have you read the things on his weapons? It's on the GW website. When they released it, they had a breakdown of his weapons.
Nope.
Well, if you go into it now. But while you're doing that, one of the big pluses I like about it, the armored hand here, straight up talons.
Yeah.
I quite like that. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. He's got literal gauntleted talons.
Oh, that's
They're
cool.
not like Horus's ones.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
they're
yeah.
his own style, and I kind of like that. I like the wing shoulder.
I do
pauldron
like that
thing,
as well.
Yeah,
That
the
looks-
flare.
It's very like angelic, even
Yeah.
though the rest of it's like very demonic.
Yeah,
like
we are
it's,
still the Emperor's children.
Yeah,
Ha ha,
it's-
fuck you, Dad.
it's cool.
Yeah.
Like I do like the angelic wing.
Yeah, yeah.
Some of his weapons are manifestations of Fulgrim's sheer will. Others are trophies taken from worthy opponents. Some of them have spotted a heavy but relatively plain broadsword among his ever-rotating armory. So he can just summon weapons out of nowhere. I fucking love that.
Yeah. And so the common broadsword, this one on his right, our left, very lackluster. Could have been better. I like the sword on the right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You could have had the spear.
On the
He
right or
should-
his left?
On his right, our left, is like lackluster. I like the one on the other side, above the whip.
Yeah.
I would say it's like lackluster. Have you seen it?
I mean, that just looks a little boring. You know what that reminds me of? Drakari sword.
That's probably what it is. They stole it from.
Very possibly. But for a Primarch, like, you think of, like, Gilliman's sword. You
Yeah.
think of, like,
Lions,
Drachnian.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
sick
the
weapons.
Primarch swords, like even Abaddon's claw, like
Yeah.
the Horus's claw, but
Maybe it's also because instead of how the other Primarchs focus on one attack with a big, insane weapon, his is going to be multiple attacks with other little weapons. Like
Possibly.
Death by 1,000 cut kind
so
of
they
things.
haven't released what his like.
Actual stats are yet.
Stats are or
no,
anything?
they've released
Okay.
nothing. Just that little description on the Warhammer community page.
Yeah.
They're not going to release anything until the codex comes out, or they're trying to like tease it, and until they bring out the updates for the army, which I'm more keen for the army than I am for Fulgrim, but I am happy we've got Fulgrim.
I would like to see Fulgrim stats.
When is this meant to be coming out? I thought this was like a.
How long's a piece of string?
Oh, so it's not like they
don't
haven't
know.
announced a date or anything.
Nothing.
Oh, I thought they'd like an. I thought
Because
that's...
they're doing this thematically and teasing the hell out of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. I just want my Noise Marines, man.
So overall, if you had to rate it out of 10, what would you rate it?
Out of from what the other Primarchs, I would say he's up there. Like I'd say maybe a 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's definitely things that I think could have improved it, and there's been things that like that have been brought up. Like yeah, his gaping hole seems like a very big hitbox. But yeah, I'd give it like a
I do
7
like
and a
how
half.
they've kept the theme of the one wing shoulder on them
Yes,
because
I like
that
because he's
too.
had that ever since like the beginning.
Yes.
So yeah, I do like it. Yeah, so I'd say 7 and a half.
Overall, out of 10,
I'm a solid 6.
6. Right.
I don't think it's the worst model.
Yeah,
I
No,
think
it's
it's
not
the
the
worst Demon Primarch model.
Yeah, out of Magnus.
Yeah, I think it's worse than Magnus.
Really? Okay then.
Yeah.
Fair enough. If I had to, I'm looking at it as well as what I can do with it as well. So I'm thinking either 7 or 8.
yeah. I'm thinking there's a lot of potential for kit bashing. I would like to see what like if they are just doing faces. What else are also like check like what other options do they have?
Well, they would have shown it on the Warhammer community page if there were other options.
Yeah.
Because they
But-
did the different poses and they did the different faces. They would have shown it on that if
They
there
would have.
was.
Okay, I
So
was
they
gonna
did
say
they
maybe
did
they.
the same thing with the
this is
lion.
it.
They showed everything and the heads and everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought maybe they might keep something like more secretive until like the actual.
Probably
release, but-
regarding his stats or something else, but
Yeah,
not
but,
a model.
but this is what we're getting.
I mean, I feel like there is so much like kit bash ability with
Well,
it. that-
yeah. I would definitely, at the very least, 3D print a different face
Yeah.
and get rid of the horns and the hair. And the
I
cape.
don't mind the horns because I think where you're getting the Thousand Suns thing from is because it's gold and blue.
Well, no, it's the shape too.
The
shape as
shape,
well?
yeah.
The shape doesn't bother me as much because I know that I can paint that something and that'll stark with the white hair a bit
It's
better.
also the contrast of the size of the horns to the head, even the horns to the wings.
Yeah.
The horns, even compared to his arms, I know like that angle's a little bit off.
Yeah.
But if your horns are as long as your arms,
You're very horny.
I mean, he is horny.
Magnus
He's horny.
again.
But I would just, I don't know. I think maybe even a different shape would fix it. Like more forward pointing rather
Yeah.
than straight up. I just don't love the horns. I don't love the head.
I feel like if they were more like I'm thinking like what's his name? Hellboy. Like when Hellboy gets his like big horns and like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
huge but they're like they sort of like have like more character. They're not like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they would look really cool.
Yeah, and like he shouldn't really like they've made it look like a crown. That's not it.
Yeah.
It's not it for me.
No, I agree.
Fulgrim.
No, I agree.
It does scream. Now that you've said it, like it does scream was Thousand Suns, like
Yeah.
their helmet thing, like it does.
To be fair, his other Horus Heresy one is the similar colors, but it kind of like goes in like that a little bit.
Yeah, they're more natural looking horns. I think
Yeah.
they're more demon like, and that's more like he's put those on just for show. Like they haven't grown out of his head.
Yeah. To be fair, like when you talk about like when you compare the Horus Heresy to the 40k, and they're just like, oh, it looks so worse. Like he looks, and I'm just like, I understand that though, because you got to remember he's had like 10,000 years of nothing but chaos energies running through him. So it's like gone from like introduced to weed to meth addict. Like, so I'm okay with like the idea of him looking worse than the other model, because like your Primarch
Worse-
shouldn't look fuckable.
Worse aesthetic, I get, worse model, like the
No,
directional.
I get that. I get that. I'm talking
that's
more about the
my
aesthetic
issue.
part.
Yeah. No, my issue is mainly that.
So it's been a while since I've seen the Horus Heresy one, but doesn't he have like holes and rips in his wings?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
I mean,
I'm looking at it right now.
he gets remanifested.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe
Anyway,
I'm
like,
thinking of
thematically.
Mortarian's wings, or
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Mortarian's wings.
But I would say like if
And
he's
Angron's too.
Angron's have rips.
oh
in
maybe
them,
it's
yeah.
Agron's that I'm thinking of, but
I reckon you could put Angron's wings on him, paint him up, and they would look better.
The problem is that but the biceps in those wings would be bigger than him.
Yeah, it's true.
But the problem is this model's probably going to cost like $8 million, and
On
so
pre-order,
does,
yeah.
like all the other ones as well. So that's the only downside that I have with kit bashing is like, unless
You have to be really confident in your skills before you do it.
yeah, and I get like people that are buying this sort of stuff, they usually have somewhat disposable income, but like they're just so
Disposable
so
income or a problem.
yeah.
What?
Same thing.
Not me, not me.
But just like the price of them is it's insane. So it's like, how much do you want to cut it up?
Yeah.
To
Exactly.
then like yeah.
And that's going to be full price as well. Like,
Oh, it's gonna be
With the lack of models, at least for the next few years, if you want to run an Emperor's Children's Army, you're gonna need him.
oh
yeah.
yeah.
Otherwise, you're not making 2,000
a
points.
Space Marine, Chaos, or Loyalist without your Primarch is a little bit of a dudless.
I mean, you can do it with
You can
you
do
can
it,
do
but
it
you
with
have to-
Ultramarines. You can do it with a lot of the loyal. Like you can do it.
But you
with,
have so
like,
many
Dark Angels.
variations of like soldiers or
Yeah,
like,
whereas they have no like models yet. So even when they
The
get
problem
their
is that
model
you have to be a
release,
little bit more specific with your strats if you don't bring a Primarch.
Well,
Because they bring so much
I mean,
Aureolers.
not even on like a meta level. I mean, they have no models.
Yeah, they've got nothing.
What
at
are
the
you?
moment.
What are you? If you're not running
Yeah.
him, what are you running?
You just get normal Chaos
They're gonna
Marines and then
release,
you
like-
just kit bash it to hell.
Yeah, but then you have to match it to their codex when
Exactly.
it comes out.
Exactly.
You're gonna have like maybe 3 or 4 options for like a battle line.
And then it might be sometimes
At
where
the
you're not even
most.
allowed to bring normal Chaos Marines anymore.
Yeah.
You can't bring Legionnaires in Death Guard, I think it is.
so
And
speak
No, yeah, you can't.
you can't do it in-
You can only take Legion specific ones in Death Guard.
And
You
same
can't
thing
do
with
it
World
with
Eaters.
World Eaters
and Thousand Suns, yeah.
and Thousand Suns. So you're not going to be able to take like basic CSM with them. So
or even demons, or you may not
you'll be able to take demons probably, but
reckon?
there's no demon models for Slaanesh.
No, there is.
Is
I
there?
know, I mean,
Oh
like-
yeah, you got the
You got the
horrors.
Demonettes and you got the
The
Demonette.
Demonettes.
The Horrors is Zinch.
Yeah, the horrors is ancient.
So you got Demonettes, and then you've got the Keeper of Secrets model, which is their
Yes.
version of Rodius.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's a
Well,
bunch of,
technically, yeah, you can run them, but technically, they're like Sigma models, aren't they?
no,
you can still-
they're interchangeable.
Yeah, they're
yeah,
interchangeable,
they're
but they
Sigma
would.
models, but you can
run them in 40K.
40K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why when you go into a shop and then they have like all of the demons and all that shit on the Sigma side is because they need something to fill out the Sigma side and there's no room on the 40k side.
Yeah. Speaking
That's
of
why on the back of the box it'll have the sticker of both Sigma and 40k.
And
Yeah,
40K.
yeah.
Speaking of the armies, what do we think will be like? What do you think will come with him? Like, so
I
Noise
think-
Marines.
Well, obviously you got the Noise Marine squad. What I think, and I've already detailed it in one of my other videos as well when we got the teasers for the shoulder pauldrons. You're gonna get a choir master. Choir masters are the ones that lead the Noise Marines,
Okay.
and then you're gonna have like a choir, for example, which might be a box of like either 3 or 6 or however many.
Well, I'm
They'll
thinking
do
like-
them in 5 to 10 because that's what they're doing. Everything else, they're either like everything else is being lotted up in like groups of 5 or groups
10.
or 10, or it'll be like 5.
There'll
and
be
you can buy
squad
2
wise you
boxes.
can take, but the problem is that the models are not coming out that way either. So, for example, I know 8 bounder you can only take 3 of them,
Yeah.
and for example, your own Death Guard boys, I think you can take them in 5 or 10.
The Death Shroud,
but they come out.
you-
No, not Death Shroud. No, there's another unit.
The
But
Blight Lords.
I think so, but
Yeah.
you can take them in squads of 5 or 10, but they come in boxes of 7.
Oh,
and I'm just
yeah.
like, and I'm like, okay.
No, but you can just add singles, but it's just the point cost doesn't make it worth it.
No, yeah, that's what I mean. Is that it's going to be probably something like that. But with Slaanesh number being 6, could be something like that.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to have play into it. They're going to be a choir master. They're going to be a choir of Noise Marines.
Well, what do you
And then I
think will
there's
come
gonna
in
be-
the combat patrol is what I'm sort of getting at. Like, what do you think, like, when you think of, like, a combat patrol, because that's really the, okay, they've got a new army, here's what we start you off with. So
I think there's
Noise
gonna be-
Marines will probably come into it.
I think there's going to be every single faction of the Chaos faction have like a cultist of some sort or like a fodder. So you've got Poxwalkers, you've got the Zangors, and then you've got the Jackals. So I think there's going to be like a degenerate one for Slanesh,
Like,
like
was it
cultists
legions or
something.
whatever in the Chaos Space Marines, the Legionnaires, or
No, that's normal Space Marines. They've got
normal.
cultists.
oh, you're
Just
talking
normal
about cults.
I'm
Okay,
talking
yeah.
about like cannon fodder. And
yeah,
then
yeah.
and then there's going to be the baseline troops.
Yeah. Your battle line.
Yeah, your battle line.
Which will probably be Noise Marine, do you think, or would it be?
No. I think Noise Marines are going to be specialists. I think we're just going to have normal Chaos Marine, not normal Emperor's Children. I say normal, but like it's going to have
Yeah, like what Plague Marines are for Death Guard.
Gotcha.
or
Okay. Yep,
Rubric
yep.
Marines for.
I also think because they'll just have like a rhino or something.
There's got to be a vehicle.
That'll be like what Death Guard have. It's a Death Guard rhino. It's just a rhino.
But would they do it full on? Like, wouldn't they?
They're going to do
like,
an Emperor's Children thing, like with the bubonic
and,
whatever it is.
And I think they'll have probably something like buy this extra model and you can get speakers to make your rhino basically like a Noise Marine stand.
That's what I was
going
going to say. Do you
I
think
think
they'll
it'll be
do?
based, yeah.
Do you think they would do a vehicle like a rhino? Wouldn't you think that they would do that singly? I would think more of like with the Orcs one, they have like the copters, like those helicopter ones with the chaos. Yeah, the death copters. They've got like the motorbike guys, like as
Could be.
vehicles.
I think because they don't have enough individual models to start off with, the Combat Patrol will probably have him, a Rhino, and one battle line, or like two battle lines, and the Specialty Noise Marines. And
Oh, you think he will come in the Combat Patrol?
More than likely.
I don't know that
You
he
think-
would. I don't know that he
Angron
would.
does.
Angron does come in the Combat Patrol.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because all of the other...
our mate has it.
Yeah, because the points...
I
for
think-
I thought that was the battlefield or whatever the Christmas boxes that they.
I'm going to double check before we.
But
I thought it was in the Combat Patrol because the Khorne Berserkers are like such a... It's basically him, Khorne Berserkers, and some Hellhounds.
I actually think we might be wrong on that. because
Yeah, I
it's
don't.
Khan
I
the
don't think
Betrayer
that
and then-
because I've been wanting to get
it's not
Angron
Angron.
for a
Oh,
while.
it's not Angron?
Yeah, it's not Angron. It's Khan the Betrayer by the looks of it.
That's
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like, what do you think would be like the
Oh, it's
Khan
going
the
to be
Betrayer or
Eidolon.
like the Master of
Eidolon.
Possessions?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be
Eidolon.
Eidolon. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because that's what I was like.
Because his book just came out as well.
And he's one of the most interesting like characters.
Okay, so he's going to be like the main character. Like
Yeah.
in Death Guard, it's like the
Typhus.
Typhus.
Yeah.
Just trying to think of the name. And in Chaos Space Marines, it's Master of Possessions.
Oh, it's not Khan. It's the Lord Invictus or whatever it is, the one on the
Yeah.
Hound thing.
Yeah.
And then it's a couple of Jackals, and then it's Berserkers galore.
There is
So I
a
feel
box that has Angron in it that I'm thinking
I
of.
think
It's
it-
the battle.
I think it is
I
the
think
one-
it's the battle,
battle-
whatever called.
There
Because
was a,
I
there was
really
a
bought
Christmas
it.
one that came
Yeah,
out
the
as
Christmas
well.
battle.
And the Lion was in the Dark Angels one with all the Death Knight.
Yeah, yeah.
Deathwing.
That's what I'm thinking of rather
Yeah.
than Combat Patrol.
But I
Yeah.
think yeah, they have to have sort of like one main
I think
guy,
personally,
and then they'd have to have at least 4. I feel like they'd have to have 4 separate like.
I did do a prediction because I looked at all the lists of all the other ones, and and I couldn't take into account Death Guard because Death Guard has about 20 different named characters or character units like that. They're the ones that no, they do. There's something along that lines. It was like the list was unbelievable.
Yeah, but like half of them are like Demon Prince of Nurgle, and like which is actually just a normal Demon Prince that you do up that way, and it's just like
Oh no!
the-
This is like update lists. So as I was going through the list of updated through the years,
Yeah.
like Death Guard's got a bunch of characters, and then you look at
Yeah,
the
but their
and
characters,
and then
a lot
you
of their
look.
characters are models from like CSM that you just paint as Death Guard.
No. So here, I'll even pull it up. So there's a bunch of Death Guard releases.
So I know the character list of Death Guard pretty well, and like you've got your Chaos Lord and Terminator armor, your Chaos Lord normally.
So you've got all them.
Yes,
Yeah. So you have.
it's not 20.
Sure. So these are all Death Guard specific units that have come
Oh,
out.
it's specific units. I thought you were saying characters.
Well, you've got that one, and all them, and then you've got that one. And I know
That's no longer a unit.
well, whether or not they're moved to Legends, you still got the update. And then you look at the World Eaters, and then you look at the Thousand Suns, and they've got like 5 units, maybe 7.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Because
trying
like,
to.
look at all the love the Death Guard has gotten when Gilliman and
Vehicles
that
don't
came out.
count.
No, they do. When I'm saying like you're splitting hairs here, and I'm saying like that's as much as what World Eaters and Thousand Suns have got, and then you look at what Death Guard have got.
Yeah, but that's because they deserve it. They get Grandpa's love.
Now you're annoying me now. Because I'm trying to say that when I was trying to compare and predict as to how much Emperor's Children would get, I looked at the other three lists.
Yeah.
And then Thousand Sons and World Eaters were very similar in terms of amount and also unit type. And then when it came to Death Guard, that threw me off.
Oh, yeah, Grandpa's favorites.
Yeah. But anyways, like in terms of predicting, I couldn't take that into account is what I was saying.
Yeah. No.
So,
Especially being like that, that's such a new army as well. Like they're not gonna release like 100 units at once. Like it'll be.
they
like
very
a
well
slow...
could. They did it with the Dark Angels and with the when the Lion came out. They got so many different units. But I think we're going to be getting around somewhere between 5 to 7 boxes of units. One being a tank, one being relating to Noise Marines, and then one character model of Eidolon at the very least, and then one champion unit with a swordsman, because Fulgrim and all that are about dueling.
Yeah,
okay.
and I think like with Death Guard, you get the Demon Prince that you just do up into the colors of, and like basically have to kit bash it.
Oh, that's same with
yeah,
everybody.
Yeah, and like the Chaos Lord, like the same with like because you just those ones from CSM are like applicable to the other armies.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
stuff.
I know what you're talking about. Like you're talking about like the Chaos Lord, like
Chaos Lord
painted.
and
Chaos
or
Lord,
whatever.
Chaos Lord and
There's-
Terminator armor.
Yeah,
And then I
Chaos
also
Lord
believe
and-
there's going to be a Phoenix Guard of some type. There's going to be a Terminators.
Yeah.
There's going to be like a heavy unit to
what are
soak up thing.
What do they call them?
Phoenix
in
Guard.
40, no, in 40k they got a different name. I'm pretty sure. Of like his like group of like champions, his chosen.
The problem is that I don't know because like there's not a lot of focus on Fulgrim, and when there is, he's by himself.
Yeah.
So
No, it was just from a short story that I read, which was in 40k. Oh, it wasn't in 40k, but it was after the turn in 30k. So it was like
I know it's the Phoenix Guard in 30k,
30.5K.
but that's all I know.
yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, so we should probably wrap it up there.
Yeah, this has been our.
This was meant to be our
opinions.
short video.
This is our short video. Yeah, that's our opinions on the new Fulgrim model.
Let us know in the comments below what your opinions of the new models are.
Yeah.
And what you
Yeah,
think
Blake
we're going to be
will
getting
read
with
them.
Emperor. Yeah, I will. And just let us know what you think we're going to be getting in Emperor's Children as well, because as much as I try and analytically try and think what we're going to get next, hard to tell.
Yeah.
Hard to
GW
guess.
can
We
just-
could get a similar list to Death Guard where it's just character, because Emperor's Children are all about character focus, so it could be
I
something
mean,
along
Lucius
that
the
lines.
Eternal's probably another character we'll get.
He currently does have a model, but I think he's going to get an update.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
when you
'cause
look
his-
at the model, it's a bit old.
It's a bit trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is our first video. Don't be too mean on how we look.
Either way, have yourselves a lovely day. Thanks very much.
Stay out of our DMs.
Or.